don't think so. But even App Tech Car says, Nick, will you be crossing 300 pounds in competition form?
I don't know.
If you grew 6 inches taller, maybe like 3 inches.
I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen.
What do you think you weigh this year versus last Olympia?
So last Olympia, I was 245. Ideally, I could see myself being 255, 260.
Yeah. Wow. That's insane. So where do you think you've added the most mass to your physique overall? Because obviously gaining that amount of weight, you've obviously added some good muscle.
I think my quads came up quite a bit. I think my back got bigger. My arms probably got bigger. And I do think my chest grew, but it still isn't proportionate, obviously, because everything else grew around it still. Yeah. But I do think my chest came up, and I honestly think everything came up a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah. It looks that way, man, by the updates.
Quads especially.
Yeah, and like, even Brett said, that was the main point for me was quads. And the way I trained them was a lot different too. Like I wasn't so worried about what weight I had on a leg press or a hack squat. All I cared about was contracting the outer sweep as hard as I fucking could. And whether that was with 2 plates or 4 plates, I got it done.
Yeah. What sort of foot positioning do you use for if you're trying to really contract that outer quad?
So what I've done that I think helped me is, first of all, I keep my feet closed. But when I push off the heel, I try to push off the edge of the heel where I feel like I can track my outer sweep a lot more.
Yeah, so like the outside of the foot sort of thing, like the outside of the heel. Yeah, for sure.
In doing that, like you're not going to be able to push the normal weight that you normally would, because you're going to lose that contraction. You're going to lose that mind muscle connection with it, and you're just going to be worried about pushing the fucking weight from A to B. And I didn't want to do that this year.
Yeah, for sure. Johnny's getting hard right now hearing Nick talk about form and tell me what part of your foot you push through.
I'm listening to you explain that. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I could tell you like deep in thought. Do you do much of that, Johnny, with your training, or like advice wise, like if someone's like wanting to bring up a certain part of their quads or hamstrings or any body part?
Yeah, it's a big, it's a huge part of. Like the whole. This is pretty cool. It's like I was coached by Neil first, and then Matt. So we all come not Matt Jansen. We all come from almost like the same kind of like background of training, but understanding how to like actually use your hands and your feet to aid, being able to feel the actual muscles is like one of the biggest things that people misunderstand or just don't really like can't grasp. And a lot of the top bodybuilders know how to do that, like hand positioning, feet positioning, where to press on the foot or the hand, where to grip, how to contract muscle before, you're even actually lifting the weight or just flexing or contracting through the entire lift. That's what, guys like, Brad, Martin, Ozzy, Nick do. And that's why I study a lot of you guys, and I see that's why a lot of you guys have put on quality muscle, because you guys can move very, very heavy weight, very controlled. So that weight is necessarily heavy to all of us, but it's a very moderate weight that you can still take to like absolute failure. And that's the whole thing, is being able to take, having efficient reps, like in a complete set, it's efficient right from start to finish. You don't feel the muscle at the last 4 reps, you feel it the first and all the way through. And so I watch you guys do that, and that's what's really cool to hear you talk about. And like, okay, cool, he's doing a form of external rotation, and that's how he's explaining it. So yeah all the
Marty,
time.
It blows me out, Marty, how you guys like Nick, even guys like Brett as well, how quickly you guys have come up and been able to gain so much muscle, and at a young age as well, where like when I was younger, I know that I used to go in there and lift, but it wasn't like I was going, okay, yeah, I'm controlling perfectly the negative through this muscle and feeling this, and you only get that with sort of time in the gym. So it sort of surprises me, I guess, how some guys can get so big, so young, and so developed. And Marty, your physique looks like very well developed in terms of all the heads of the muscles and stuff like that. You're not a young guy that's come up and there's spots that are just straight up lacking. So did you get that very early in terms of your training, in terms of where to push through and where to feel it and where to the hand and feet positioning and stuff?
Well, yeah, man. I mean, first off, like I started wrestling when I was 3. So like my body awareness just overall is crazy good, man. Like I've been in athletics my entire life. So like But I do think that like hugely contributes to wrestling specifically because you learn so much about feet positioning, hip positioning, lower back positioning, and shoulder positioning to get into moves, to be able to leverage out of moves. And really, like hips and feet are everything in wrestling. So I think that's like a huge part of it. And then like I got obsessed with watching training videos and stuff really early on. Like I was watching Kai Green and Jay Cutler videos and Phil Heath videos and stuff at like 12 years old, like 10 years old. So by the time I was like really getting to train at like 14, I'd already like been watching these guys perform perfect rep after perfect rep. So I was already like on that path. And then also I kind of had like a beginning of like powerlifting stuff. Like I never competed in powerlifting, but I was surrounded by powerlifters that were all like technicians. So when I'm like deadlifting around them, they're like, "Hey Marty, like do this, do that. This will work better for you." And then like I'm pulling crazy numbers. And then I just took that form, pulled the plate off each side, and did it for 8 reps instead. And I think that like massively made me grow, as well as then like obviously training with Brett, having good training partners like that, then just makes you even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. You guys obviously train with different people, like, you know, mix it up a bit. Is it ever hard when you do that? Like Brett, like obviously you've trained with a few different people sort of lately. Is it hard sort of like going like, do you lead the workout most of the time or do they lead the workout? Like if you have something specific during prep, like is it mostly you leading it? Like how does that work when you train with different pros and people?
Yeah, I mean, it also comes down to timing. You know, if I'm teaming up with somebody that's the first time and say they're 8 weeks out or something, I'm just in the off season, I'll let them run it, you know, but I won't chance that. Like say I'm 8 weeks out and they're in off season, I'm running it. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna make sure we get efficient. Thing is now I've done trial and error with, you know, Martin, with Nick here. I know they train similar to me. I know they're gonna pick the, you know, the correct exercise sequence. And you know, I trust that. So that's a lot easier because I built that relationship and that trust. But you know, you always got to kind of fill out that first one, and then like, and it's usually not done like during a prep. I usually, you know, was kind of a rare example because like, you know, we trained back and that was just the first time. But I knew, I've seen from his videos he trains hard, but you know, I made sure I wanted to run that and like, you know, feel him out and things like that. So it just comes, you know, we are just so we're so competitive, so we use each other because we want to. But the whole goal of it is just like, hey, when we get done today, we both want to feel like absolute shit, and you know that the muscle is torn down, then we go home and recover. You know, so like the best way to do that is if it's your way or if it's my way or if we go back and forth, let's figure it out and get the shit done. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope you enjoyed this short clip from our full episode of Bodybuilding University. And if you did enjoy it and you want to check out that full episode, it will be available within 24 hours of this short clip dropping. So it's probably available now to most of you guys watching this. So just head over to the Desktop Bodybuilding main channel page and you'll find the latest episodes of Bodybuilding University, plus a ton of old episodes as well you can check out. So anyway, if you did enjoy this short clip, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button, also subscribe and hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding, and you won't miss out on another episode of Bodybuilding University.